Hello fellow travelers, I'm Ari from Nitty Gritty Travelers, and today I'm gonna give you the nitty gritty on how to choose an Airbnb in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. I now live in Punta Cana, but I used to live in Santo Domingo, so I've stayed a couple of times on Airbnbs here in Punta Cana, and these are the tips and hints on how to best choose an Airbnb apartment or condo in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Now, full disclosure, I own 2 apartments here in Punta Cana that I rent out on Airbnb. So with that out of the way, let's begin. Number 1, decide on your budget. Be realistic on what you're expecting to pay depending on the location of the apartment you're planning on renting on Airbnb. For instance, my 2 apartments are in an area called El Cortecito, which is within walking distance of the beach. Expect to pay a lot more for a beachfront property. The number of people in your party is also a great determining factor on the price you're going to pay. Large villas or houses or apartments that hold up to 8-10 people will cost you more than an apartment for 2 or 4 or a family of 6. So determine what your budget is going to be. Be realistic. Don't expect a beachfront property for $50 a night. Expect to pay maybe $200, $300 per night on a beachfront property. It will depend also on the location of that beachfront property. There are different types of beaches, quality of beaches, exclusive beaches or neighborhoods. For instance, Cap Cana will cost you a night. El Cortecito, Los Corales are cheaper options, are close to the beach but are not beachfront. But if you're planning on staying on a villa in Cap Cana, you can expect to pay a lot more per night. Is it high season or low season? That will also determine on the price per night you can expect to pay. If you're coming on from November, December, January through February, March or April, the prices are gonna be higher because there is more demand. If you're coming also in the summer, like June or July, the prices are also gonna be higher. Basically here in Punta Cana, there's not really a low season, but the slowest months are September and October, basically. But for instance, December, a night here in our apartments can cost you up to almost $300 per night. But now in September, it can cost you like $50 a night, $60, $70 a night. So plan ahead. If you're coming on high season, the prices will go up. Low season, the prices will be lower. The same property, the same apartment, the prices will fluctuate depending on high or low season. Number 2, location. Ask yourself, do you have to stay in town or are there other options? For instance, are you planning on renting a car here in Punta Cana? If you are, you can expand the radius of your search for properties on Airbnb. The farther they are from the heart of town or the beaches, the cheaper they're going to be. But most tourists do not rent a car once they're here in Punta Cana. Since you're not staying in a resort because you're looking for an Airbnb and you're not renting a car, you have to stay in neighborhoods that are close to the beach, restaurants, things to do at night, supermarkets, etc. And those are only 2 neighborhoods here in Punta Cana. Our apartments, the ones we own that we rent on Airbnb, and actually we're going to leave the links on the description. It's not the purpose of the video to advertise the apartments, but hey, free advertising. If you're not planning to rent a car, there are only 2 neighborhoods that I would advise you to stay at. And they are called El Cortecito, which is where our apartments are located, and Los Corales, which is a couple of minutes walking distance from here. Because those are the 2 neighborhoods that are actually kind of designed or developed for walking around. Here in Punta Cana, there is no public transportation. You can only take like motor taxis, and there is no Uber. only taxis. That's your only means of transportation if you don't have a car here in Punta Cana. So on those two neighborhoods, El Cortecito and Los Corales, there is public access to the beaches, which is another major point. If you're not staying on a resort here, it's basically impossible to access the beaches. Now, the beaches are supposed to be public, and once you're on the shore, you can actually walk around and bathe on whatever beach you want, but the beach access points are controlled by the hotel entrances, and the hotels are next to each other. There's no space in between them to access the beaches. So here in El Cortecito and Los Corales, there are public access to the beaches. You have also many restaurants, shops, supermarkets that are within walking distance. I'm talking about 5 to 1 minute walking distance, depending on where the property is located within those two neighborhoods. If you're planning on staying at Uvero Alto, Cap Cana, Punta Cana, you need a car, so plan ahead. Number 3, the facilities. What do you need during your stay? Are you planning to come to Punta Cana for 2 nights? Are you staying for a month, 3 months? Depending on the length of your stay, your party, are you coming with kids, with babies, toddlers? Are you coming with another couple? Are you coming by yourself? Depending on all those factors and many others, the property type you're gonna be renting on Airbnb should have what you need during your stay. For instance, does it have a washer dryer? If you're gonna be staying for a month, you're gonna be doing laundry, right? So, does it have a washer? Does it have a dryer? Does it have a washer but it doesn't have a dryer? If it doesn't have a dryer, how are you going to dry your clothes? Can you put it on the balconies? Does it have a terrace, a rooftop? What are the options? So think ahead for that. Beach access. As I was saying before, remember, there are not many public beach access. And if you're coming to Punta Cana, my guess is you're going to want to have access to the beach, right? Maybe daily. So, does the neighborhood you're staying at have public beach access? Are you staying on a property that, because you are staying there, you have access to a private beach, a beach club? Ask the owner, message the owner on Airbnb about those options if it's not on their description. If you're coming with kids, is the apartment child-proof or as close to child-proof as possible? Is there a hot tub that it could be a danger for your kids if it doesn't have a cover? Are there balconies, stairs? Are the plugs covered? Accessibility. Do you have older people in your party? Can you climb stairs? Or is there an elevator? Is it on the first floor? Accessibility. Is the apartment on a 3rd floor, 4th floor, 5th floor? Is it on the 1st floor? Are there many stairs? Is there an elevator? Is someone in your party older that has trouble climbing stairs? Those are things you have to be thinking about. Number 4, read the reviews. That's a basic thing on Airbnb. Read the reviews on the property you're planning on renting. Are all the reviews good? But like when you read them, is it all about the host is a great guy? Sometimes if people like the host but they didn't like the property very much, they're gonna give it like a good rating, and the review is going to be all centered around the host. So if many of the reviews are like that, maybe the host is a great person, but the property is not as good. So keep an eye for that. Keep an eye for keywords like clean, good communication, a great location, access to the beach is close by, close to the supermarket. Those are keywords that will help you identify good properties here in Punta Cana. Number 5, go with your gut. If it doesn't feel right, don't rent it. Keep looking. If you see the pictures and they're not convincing, keep looking. If you see like it's 5 properties with the same pictures and your gut tells you that's something fishy, keep looking. Don't book it. Remember, it's your money. You make the decision. Don't feel pressured. It's true that you have to move fast when you find the right property to book it, because if you want it, if someone else skips ahead of you and books it first, then you lost it. But there are many properties, many good properties, so don't feel pressured. If you're coming on high season, just do your homework. A couple of hours on Airbnb, you can maybe browse HomeAway or Booking.com. Now TripAdvisor also rents properties. I mean, like owners list their properties on TripAdvisor. Those are the 4 major websites to look properties at. That's another tip. Look on those 4 sites, and many of the owners list on at least 2 of them, HomeAway, Airbnb, and they have different prices for each platform because it's for different audiences. Or maybe they're running a special on TripAdvisor but not on Airbnb. I hope you found the video useful, and like Rick from Rick and Morty said, away we go!